the name of the neighborhoods here, but we have like some neighborhoods in Belgium, like in Braschaat and Antwerp, where the people from Belgium, because I know some of them came, and thank you for coming too. You were not thanking. It's farther than Amsterdam, Antwerp. Anyway, thank you. We do not test democracy by going to look in Braschaat, the fancy neighborhood of Antwerp. This is not how you know if Belgium is a democracy. If you want to test democracy, you go to Borgerhout. You go to Molenbeek in Brussels, you go to Schaerbeek, you talk to the most oppressed, to the most marginalized, and then you can test democracy. I agree with Mr. Ramadan. I don't see the problem in why would it be a problem to be a Muslim, to practice your faith, to have a certain faith, and being European. It's not more a problem on the individual level than it is a problem for a Jew to be a Jewish European or a Christian or any other faith. I don't see the problem, or somebody who believes in Buddhism, for that matter. But I don't think the issue is there, and let us also be honest about that. I don't think the issue is that people tell us that you cannot actually worship, and you cannot pray, and you cannot fast. No, they like that. They don't mind that. They don't mind that. They don't mind that we pray and fast, and that we don't eat pork, and they don't mind these things. That's not the problem. That's not where the issue with Islam is. The issue with Islam is double. One part that has nothing to do with Islam, but has to do with the sociological identity of the Muslims here. Because the Muslims here are not only Muslims. And it is a normal thing that they are not only Muslims. The Muslims here did not parachute into Europe out of a country called Islamia. That country doesn't exist. The Muslims here came from Morocco, from Turkey, from Pakistan, from Suriname, from many countries. And they brought with them situations. Of course, some of them are indigenous population who converted to Islam. They exist too. But what I mean is the majority or a lot of people came from places, and these places are in a place that we refer to in Europe as the third world. Now, why did they come? In order to understand our reality as Muslims, even though I refer to that not as a common denominator, because I don't believe it is. I don't believe it is a common denominator. But even if we want to approach that, we cannot understand it if we do not look at the origins of the immigration. I cannot understand the history as an individual who is born here, not in my case, but let's say many of you or the most of you are, without understanding the history of your parents. Where did they come from? And why did they come from? And why did they came here? Did they come here from where they were? And the history of their parents and their parents. You cannot understand your life if you do not put it into context. And then you have a choice. You have a clear choice. And I know that everybody should take that choice individually. The choice is, either you say, look, I know I come from the third world. I know I come from oppressed countries. And I know I am here because of that oppression. Whether it's political oppression that made my parents immigrate, whether it is economical oppression, I am here because it doesn't go good where I come from. I am here because in these countries there was a necessity to immigrate. I know many, if you talk to your parents, almost nobody, of course some people like to travel, but the majority would have preferred to stay where they live, where they were born, and live their life if the situation was better. You have to ask yourself, what is the reason why they immigrated? And then you come to many answers. Maybe later we can talk about them. Second, you have a choice also. Am I still loyal to the reasons? I'm not talking about emotional roots here. I'm not talking here about the food you will eat. I find it important too. What kind of food you eat, what kind of music you listen to, what kind of language you talk at home. I find these things important, and for me they are as important as a religion, no matter what that religion is or says. But another issue is even more important for me. Do I still, as an individual, feel loyalty, feel a connection towards the issues of the places I came from, towards that cleavage on word scale between the North and the South, between the West and the Third World, between colonialism and capitalism that is linked to it, and the people who are being exploited and oppressed by it? Do I still care? Am I still organically linked to that immigration? Well, you have two answers for the time being, or three answers, let's say. You have what the establishment is expecting you to say. And that is, actually, yes, maybe on a folklore level, maybe have an apartment with Moroccan style in it, or I will still like make some music in Dutch with some Moroccan tunes or whatever. That is, but for the rest, I am Dutch among the Dutch, not on citizenship level, but also on cultural level. Then you have another version, and that is what I consider European Islam. And that says, as Mr. Ramadan also referred to, that says, well, I am a Muslim. I keep my Islam, I keep my ideology. But you know, this culture, this language, it's not that important actually. I might decide to keep it, I might decide to leave it, it's my personal choice, but actually that is a bit in practical terms. I'm not saying Mr. Ramadan says that, but in practical terms, that is actually not giving a priority to that issue, and therefore losing the link to the causes of where you came from, to your, not only to your cultural roots, but to your position in that power division in this world. You are putting yourself in the West politically by doing that. You are politically part of the West. When you do that, then you take politically also a certain position in the world. Because in this world also, let us not be naive about it, there is a cleavage, a deep going cleavage. The third issue is what we actually say. And what we say, and everybody attacks us because we say it, and everybody considers us extremists and radicals and you name it. What we say is, look, we are Muslims, so of course we believe in freedom of speech, of freedom of religion, and we will fight for that out of democratic values. One, that's clear. Second, but we also belong to a certain culture, to a certain identity. In our case, as AAL, it's an Arab organization. You might have another origin, you start your own. You might be Pakistani, you are welcome with us, but you can start a Pakistani organization. It's your free. But anyway, it's the same for everybody, whether you're Arab, Pakistani, Turk, it's the same. We say we are still linked and loyal to where we come from. We are loyal to the culture, we want to preserve the culture, and we are loyal also to the political divide and to the position of our countries of origin as oppressed countries in the world of today. That's what we say. And the third thing that we say, and I will close with that because I see that I passed my 7 minutes. The third thing that we say is, this is all not in contradiction either with being Muslim or Christian or Jew, neither with being a citizen, a law-obedient citizen of any country we are living in. Thank you very much.